Yes. So I was applying left and right, initially first in the Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan area, just because when COVID hit, I was still living in Brooklyn at the time. And like I said, nobody was interested. And then when I finally moved out to Jersey, a place did hire me in town, but they said I got hired in January, and then they said by June I would be a bartender. So once it started getting closer to May, I started asking them like, hey, can we please start training me to be a bartender? And I just kept getting the runaround. It was really frustrating. And I unfortunately have a horrible time advocating for myself. So I just kept saying like, I don't know, like every week I would bang into the bar manager and ask him, hey, can we finally start trading me? Like I'll come in my own time, my free time, whatever. And just basically like honest to God would just run away from me in the bar. And then I realized that whenever I was working, he was never around. So I was like, okay, he straight up is avoiding me. So I discussed with my husband. I was just like, listen, it's beginning July. And I was like, okay, he said I'd be a bartender by June. Like, there's absolutely nothing against waitressing. I loved it. It was still money, and I will never say no to extra money. It was also experience. I met a lot of great people in town because of that job. But I said to my husband, I was like, they're not holding up to their promise. And like, I need to have some self-respect for myself. And so my husband had initially said, just wait it out a couple more months. But I was just like, you know what? Like, no, I already gave them 7 months of my life. That's 7 months of, because I worked evenings. So I was like, that's 7 months of me missing bath time with my daughter and putting my daughter to bed. And that was starting to like eat me alive just because, again, I was not getting any closer to my end goal of becoming a bartender. So I went in one day and I was like super respectful, and I said like, listen, like I've asked you so many times to please start training me. Since being here, you've hired 3 other bartenders and I'm still waitressing. And I don't want to say still waitressing because again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with waitressing. That just wasn't my end goal. So then I just politely said, I was just like, this place is great. I'm so happy here. Like the other waitresses I worked with were phenomenal. Like we are still Instagram friends and we still like cheer each other on with each story that we post and check in on each other. But I was just like, I need to leave. Like you're holding me back from reaching my end goal. So I left that place in July of 2021. And then I actually had my second son in the fall, or I had my second child in fall. And then came around end of winter this year, beginning of spring, I was just like, I'm ready to start working again, just because as much as I love the title of stay-at-home mom, like I want to just, again, pursue my dream of becoming a bartender. Like I am not a quitter. So then I started again applying to, I was being a little bit, oh gosh, what's the right word? Specific. I wanted to stay close to home. So I was only applying to my town and the few surrounding towns around me. So I do understand that I was severely limiting myself. But then sure enough, the other Irish pub in my town contacted me and said, hey, we want you, but we want you to know like every aspect of the restaurant. So I came in, I trained a couple days as hostess, couple more days as a waitress, couple more days as a food runner. I think I waitressed with them for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I started training as a bartender, and now we flip-flop. I'm sometimes bartending some shifts and sometimes waitressing some shifts. So I'm super excited, and like I can finally call myself a bartender, even though I've had my license. But I just feel like nothing against getting your license at a organized school, but I feel like now I'm the real